Mascot horror, a subgenre that for better or for worse has established itself in the horror gaming community, having had its start with the first Five Nights at Freddy's, by bringing people to question, what if we just made anything loved by children scary? Diner robots? Check. Toys? Check. Your weird next door neighbor? Check. To be fair, that last one can be legitimately scary, but you get the point here. Nothing was safe. It truly revolutionized what could be considered horror back then. Yet now in the present day, we find ourselves with several new indie developers with starry eyes that wish to take a slice of that cake by making their own renditions of the genre to different degrees of success. With today's topic of this video being around the recently released Mince Hints, which released only a couple of weeks ago. Mince Hints, as you may or may not have guessed by the name, is heavily inspired by the famous real-life children's show Blue's Clues, a play-along show in which a human host is accompanied by a blue dog by the name of Blue, as they must find 3 clues that will lead them to solve a small mystery. These clues are then noted down in a notebook, and the host is to deduce the answer with the help of the audience. During these episodes, we also get to see other characters, with some recurring ones like Magenta, and others that appear more occasionally like Tickety Talk and Paprika. Following the same formula, we see Mint and Fuchsia being parallels to Blue and Magenta, as well as a human host by the name of Grant, who not only wears an outfit directly referencing Steve, but additionally also uses a notebook to keep track of the hints in this particular case. However, the main difference lies in the animal leads, as Mint and Fuchsia are not only actually in the same set as the human host, in comparison to Blue, who is a green screen dog, but they're also foxes, which would bring a whole new set of problems in comparison to having a dog or a cat on a television set. And while there are some cases of people taming foxes, these animals are still far from domesticated, and while them attacking humans is actually very rare, it's not completely out of the question, as any animal that finds itself threatened can be prone to attacking someone. But who would threaten these little guys? Clearly no one would do such a thing, right? Right? While we may think these little guys look harmless themselves, they are far from it. Soon after, we see Fuchsia attempting to eat Sprinkles, another character from the show. But it's all for the bit. Just hee hee ha ha funny. Isn't it funny, guys? Clearly the children are having a blast with this one. But was this the event that set the plot in motion? Or is there something else that we just don't know yet? Was this the actual reason that Grant was fired? In order to answer these questions, we will be taking a leap into the first chapter of this story. So sit back and relax as we gather the hints and attempt to look into the surface of Mince Hints. Our story begins with us waking up at the set of Mince Hints, where we meet up with our old friend Sprinkles, who is actually alive here, and invites us to a party that is being held inside, revealing to us that we were the former showrunner of Mince Hints, with the show changing drastically after our departure, which led to the show's cancellation. Once inside, Sprinkle encourages us to talk to the rest of the cast, who have some pretty morbid things to say.
Glug, glug, glug. That's the sound someone makes when they're drowning.
That's it, I'm out of here.
Yet nothing really comes close to Stabby's dialogue.
How many? I can't remember anymore. There were so many. I lost track.
Having met all of our colorful cast, we return to Sprinkles, who has us play a party game introducing the game's main mechanic, the Flashlight, a colorful flashlight that allows you to see things that are usually hidden to the naked eye. Using this, we'll have to find the different hints hidden across the house and put them together on the happy-go-lucky notebook in order to figure out the mystery. At first, the hints provide basic information that we already know, like the fact that there was a new showrunner and the picture of Mint, but there is one that provides a bit more substantial information.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It was my friend.
Finally, putting all the hints together, the truth comes to light as Sprinkles congratulates us and reveals that Mint was the one that hosted the party. But Mint? That cannot be. After all, the clues indicate that he's gone. I don't think our evidence is incorrect, is it? I mean, clearly Sawi killed. And this is where the fun begins. I hope you like chase scenes, cause if you don't, you're gonna have a real bad time. But there's no time to waste as the very non-ominous door beckons you forward, and with nothing other than a warning and a second flashlight, you venture into the unknown. Long corridors extend in front of you, and from the corner of your eye, you see Min? Is that you? You look a bit too ghost-like, my friend. But there's no time to waste as this version of Mint is not as friendly, so you keep running for your life. And to your right, what's that? Fuchsia is here too! The whole gang is here! Oh wait, someone is missing. Oh. Maybe the beginning of the game really was a premonition that this would happen. Unfortunately, there's no time to mourn. You must continue. Left, right, you continue, forced to leave Sprinkles behind as you finally reach a lift and pull the lever, just in time before she swipes at you. You really got the devil's own luck. Or that's what you would like to think as you descend into the dark abyss. The reality of the situation dawns upon you as a mango robotic Mint is shown in disarray, successfully ending the chapter. Now that we have talked about the story, how would I describe the experience? First, I would like to point out that I sincerely believe there is potential in this setting, as we can see that the developer really put attention to the small details, making this show seem more believable. You can really tell what this is referencing not only by the title and character design, but by the set that you explore during the first section of the game. Additionally, the story establishes an interesting mystery regarding the whereabouts of the new showrunner and the events surrounding the cancellation of the show, while also providing the player with hints in the form of these secret tombstones and the newspaper clippings. Nevertheless, the final twist regarding Mint's current state is underwhelming to say the least, as in spite of its purpose to hype the player for the next chapter, it comes across as a bit predictable, since this type of twist has become quite frequent in other mascot horror games. Subsequently, the game's best aspect lies in the hint system, which I found particularly fun, as I've always been a fan of piecing together information in order to uncover a mystery. The game does only allow one correct solution, yet the order in which you arrange your hints do provide different results, allowing for different outcomes that, while they don't provide any insight on the real answer, felt like small creative alternatives for the player to explore. Following this mechanic, we have the complementary idea of the flashlights that are colored after the two main mascots of the game, and depending on the color will reveal to the player different hints. The only qualm I had with these were how hand-holding they were during the chase scene, as they would switch automatically to show the location of Mint and Fuchsia, taking away from the potential scare factor in what's supposed to be a horror game. I get that this was to show the player where each of the foxes were, but considering the type of game this is, I think allowing the player to get spooked by not seeing where they're coming from would have been a bit more effective. With the final point coming down to shorter chase scenes, as I felt the chase scene was a tad bit repetitive and overstayed its welcome a bit, and by contrast obscures the biggest charm point of the game, which is its bright and colorful set. Alternatively, I don't think these need to be removed altogether, including the dark, brooding basement, as in the case of Chapter 1, it works as a hook to lead into the reveal, but I can only hope this doesn't become the formula for each chapter to keep the players invested on their next releases. Overall, I believe there's potential in Mint's hint, seeing that it definitely has the heart to become something more than just a cash grab for mascot horror fans. It proposes an intriguing mystery with mechanics that really encourage the player to discover it, and Chapter 1 shares a fair amount of the current plot without feeling like it's purposely too vague. I will be keeping an eye on its development as more chapters get released to see how the story unfolds, and maybe see if my current thoughts will remain unchanged. But that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video as a format that was long time coming and look forward to more in the future. This has been Chiaki Katsumi, your resident gamer, and I shall see you on the next video. Bye-bye!